this is the cream with the vanilla beans inside. And this also has a little bit of sweetener inside called trimoline. And that's just an inverted sugar that's used. It's used for a couple things in pastry. You could use it in ganaches, and it helps to keep everything creamy and smooth. The chocolate, which is here. And this is very special chocolate as well. This is the Valrhona white chocolate. So my cream is heating. My chocolate inside. So, like I was saying, the last ingredient is butter. That's going to be what finishes the ganache. And the butter does a couple things. It enriches the flavor, obviously, because it's extra fat. But butter is what gives a ganache that kind of elastic, creamy texture. So my cream is boiling now. I'm going to put it right over the chocolate. And sometimes, you can melt your chocolate a little bit if you want to, but the hot cream should do the trick. So we can start to blend it, to make our emulsion in this bowl with just a simple whisk, like the kind that we use at home. Mm-hmm. And what you want to do is you want to kind of start in the middle. And what we're looking for, I don't know if, we can see here. Mm-hmm. What we're looking for here is this, it's kind of forming like a smooth, elastic kind of core. Mm-hmm. We always start in the middle when we're making an emulsion, if it's for a ganache or an ice cream or whatever, but you always want to start in the middle and then work your way to the outside of the bowl. Mm-hmm. So we can see that this is looking nice and shiny, which is really awesome because that's a sign of a really great ganache. And this kind of does it on its own because the quality of the chocolate is so high. So the butter that we're using now, it's not cold and it's not room temperature. It's kind of right in the middle. So we'll put it in piece by piece. And what you can also do at this point is you can either use a whisk or a spatula. Perfect.
Now the temperature you mentioned right at the beginning, the butter has to be not too cold, not too warm. So that's imperative as well for this.
It is, because if you put in really, really cold butter into your ganache, then it's going to bring the temperature of the ganache down.
Right.
And it's not going to go inside. It's going to stay cold and there'll be little bits inside.
Right.
If that happens, then just like I said, I have a little bit of warm water here. Just obviously this bowl's a little bit big, but you could just put it just like this, and then continue stirring, and everything will just melt. It'll just melt right there. Yeah. So we pipe it onto pans with parchment paper once it's ready, and then we have something that looks like this. And this is the base for any truffle. They're very irregular in shape, but that's actually the way that a truffle is supposed to be. We're going to finish this vanilla truffle with another Valrhona chocolate that's called guanaja. And guanaja is a dark chocolate. It's 70% chocolate, so it's very, very dark. It's a little bit bitter, but not overly. But the beauty of it is it's such a dark chocolate. The foil against the white chocolate with the vanilla inside, it's very, very nice. So we're just melting our dark chocolate now over a bain-marie, exactly. You could use a microwave if you want, but if you use a microwave, you just have to be very careful that you don't burn your chocolate. The water should always be at a simmer, not boiling too rapidly. Okay, so the chocolate is almost melted. We're going to just melt this till it's warm. It doesn't have to be tempered. It doesn't have to be a certain temperature. That's why it's so great that you can make truffles at home, because you don't have to do anything crazy. Okay, so once we have our chocolate melted, we have our little truffles ready to go. So it's kind of a two-step process. Perfect. So here we have Valrhona cocoa powder. We have the chocolate and we have the truffles, and that's it, and we're ready to go. All you do, you take a little bit of chocolate. I put it right in the center of my palm like this. The little piece of ganache goes here. You just cover it a little bit. It doesn't have to be crazy. The sign of a good bonbon is a thin shell anyway, and you just drop it in. And then the shaker shakes it all around, and that's it. Because we want this chocolate, this dark chocolate, we want it to crystallize a little bit. So we put it in the cooler. We put it in the fridge for, mostly we put it in overnight, but a couple of hours would suffice. And then the chocolate will set up and it'll create that crunchy chocolate layer around the ganache. You always want to serve it at room temperature, right? So there's going to be a crunchy layer. There'll be the cocoa powder on the outside, which is a little bit bitter, the crunchy layer of chocolate, and then the nice, smooth ganache on the inside. We just have a beautiful, clean plate that's big enough for two truffles. Very beautiful, clean little mound of cocoa powder. And we like this to look very organic and very natural. So the cocoa powder is very beautiful against the white plate for me, in my opinion. So we have one traditional truffle on the other, and to the guest, it looks like they could almost be the same, two of one thing. But it's actually a very surprising and very special way to end the meal. So
very nice.
I hope you guys enjoy it when you try it.